Welcome to the XtextCasts. 7 example languages for the JVM was released a couple of weeks ago. Those languages was designed to demonstrate different features of the Xtext, but they all also full functional and probably can be used in real projects. Let's go briefly through all those languages. And the first language is a scripting language. This is a very simple language. It allows us to write an xbase code without need to declare a package, class or main method. The next language is a build language. It is like an ant can build applications. We can define tasks here and dependencies between the tasks and the build parameters. The next language is a DSL for the MongoDB, and MongoDB is a NoSQL database with a dynamically typed Java API, and the DSL for the MongoDB is a statically typed API built above their standard MongoDB API. And here we can define our persistence layer using entities and attributes. We can use Java types or collection of Java types or entities or collection of entities as types, and we can even define methods using xbase expressions. The next language is a DSL for Google Juice, and this language allows us to declare a Google Juice modules in a more convenient way, performing many checks at a compile time. We can declare runtime modules, we can bind interfaces to the implementations, we can even provide implementation in place, and we can take advantages from quick fixes. And the next language is an HTTP routing language. Here we can declare our routing rule in a web application. We can specify the request type and the path and call the corresponding controller method using parameters, and we can also specify the placeholders within the path. The next language is a template language. And this is just like a rich string with a header part. And in this header we can specify imports and parameters, and within the rich string we can use the placeholders just like in rich strings, and also if and for statements. And the last little tortoise language is a good old logo. And here, using xbase expressions, we can move this little tortoise around and change other parameters of the system. Now let's download the source code and try it out. And you can clone this Git repository to get the source code, but if you don't have Git installed, you can just download the zip file. And switching to the Eclipse, we can import all the projects. And here we choose languages. After importing all languages, we can browse the source code and test it. So, for example, let's test this scripting language. And we can use prepared launch configuration for all projects. Within the second Eclipse instance, we can import all the example projects. Let's take a look of the scripting example project. And this is the example script that counts lines and words in a file. And in order to run this, since this is a very simple scripting language example, we cannot do just run as a script or something like that. We have to open the generated Java implementation and run it with a run as Java application. And as you can see, there was already a prepared run configuration with the corresponding arguments set. In this manner you can browse the source code, run examples and do all kinds of experiments with those 7 example languages. Thank you for watching XtextCasts. Go to the xtextcasts.org to get show notes, discussions and more episodes.